How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Flicks and Pixels. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. So we've had some controversy recently in terms of Kino Lorber. They've pulled Dante's Peak from release, which was scheduled for around the end of May, I think. They've delayed it indefinitely. And then Daylight on 4K, they actually released. And then less than a week after it's released, they decided to pull it from stockists, pull it from their own website, and release a statement saying that they have delayed that indefinitely as well. But a few people managed to get hold of a copy. I was one of them, and here it is. This is Daylight on 4K from Kino Lorber. I'll take you through a little unboxing of that in just a second. So Daylight was highly anticipated on 4K. Loads of people were waiting for this film to be released on 4K. It's a very underrated Sylvester Stallone film, very underrated in my opinion. It's one of the better disaster films that was released in the 90s. And I just think it's a real enjoyable film, I really do. Sylvester Stallone is great in it as well. And as soon as it was announced that Kino Lorber were doing a 4K version of this, I had to get hold of it. Now, it hasn't been released in the UK. Kino Lorber don't usually release in the UK, it is US only. And I managed to get hold of this from Amazon US, and it got dispatched I think a couple of days before it was announced that they were pulling it, so it was already in transit when they said that they were pulling it from stockists. So I was quite lucky to get hold of it, to be honest. So there's been a lot of talk of people trying to get hold of this online, but as with everything like this, scalpers have got hold of it. Scalpers have put it on eBay for £150, about $200-ish. It's ridiculous. They're taking the piss. They are taking the absolute piss with the prices they're putting this on eBay for. Ludicrous. Scalpers, don't give in to them. Okay, this is already up for pre-order on Amazon US again. It's going to get released at some point. They're going to sort the issues out. And still, we don't know what the issues are. We don't know why it was pulled. Some people are saying that it was because of a licensing issue. I've seen other reports of people saying that Universal didn't pre-approve the transfer. I've seen other reports of people saying that the music video that appears on the bonus features of this, they haven't got the rights to put on here. We're not going to know until Kino Lorber come out and give us that exact statement. We're never going to know the reasons why. But don't give in to the scalpers. They're taking the fucking piss. 100 quid, 150 quid for this. Absolutely scandalous. Anyway, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to take you through a quick unboxing. I'd usually go down to the table and do, an in-depth unboxing of an edition that I've got. I don't think this needs it, to be honest, so we'll do a quick unboxing here. You can see from there, you kind of get the slip cover with it. That is the reverse of it just there. And then you slide this out, and it is pretty much the same thing. And then that zooms in, there we go. And then the same on the reverse there as well. And then if we open it up, you will see inside you've got your 4K disc and your Blu-ray disc. Now, as I said, I was really excited for this on 4K, but I did already have this amazing release from Turbine. Now, this is the Blu-ray release from Turbine. I have reviewed Turbine editions in the past. They are fantastic over there. They're a German-based company, and the transfer that they did for this Blu-ray version of Daylight is absolutely fantastic. It really is. But I'm going to talk about the 4K to start with. And this has got Dolby Vision and it's got HDR. I expected this to absolutely destroy this. It really didn't. It really didn't. I've got to be honest, guys, this is a very mediocre, underwhelming 4K transfer. The Dolby Vision and HDR, it's okay. It's very subtle. comes into its own, I suppose, near the beginning of the film with the explosion in the tunnel. But in terms of the finer details and everything on this, there's a lot of soft shots in this. A lot of soft shots. Yes, you can notice the uptick in resolution. I mainly noticed it on things like the number plates on the cars in the tunnel and things like that. You do kind of notice it on that, but that's only because I was kind of flicking between the two, the turbine version and the 4K version from Kino Lorber. But if you were to put one on after the other, you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference. This isn't a huge step up from that turbine Blu-ray. It's really not. As I say, it's quite soft at times. HDR and Dolby Vision are utilised, but it's very subtle. And most notable is that this comes with a DTS 5.1. That's it. DTS 5.1. This turbine release comes with a Dolby Atmos track. And let me tell you now, the Dolby Atmos track on this turbine Blu-ray release absolutely destroys that Kino Lorber release with the DTS 5.1. Now, don't get me wrong, the DTS 5.1, it sounds good. It really does. But I found that you lose the dialogue at times in this, particularly when there's a lot of action-packed sort of scenes in the film with dialogue. You lose the dialogue in it. You really do. With this turbine Dolby Atmos track, you don't. This sounds amazing in Dolby Atmos. It really does. This is a bit of a downgrade when you think about it, because you haven't got your Dolby Atmos track. The transfer is very mediocre and underwhelming, and isn't a massive step up at all from that turbine Blu-ray. It's really not. I can't explain it to you. Just very mediocre, very underwhelming. As I say, you see the uptick in the resolution, but only if you're really looking for it. You've got to be really looking for it. This turbine release, right? This Blu-ray, Turbine do things with their transfers. They do some phenomenal work, and they did it with this Blu-ray. It's a fantastic transfer. I can't speak about the standard Blu-ray release because I haven't got that. I can only go by this turbine release and their transfer on here. It looks fantastic. It's not perfect. It's a bit oversaturated and a bit too vibrant at times, especially in the tunnel when the explosion happens in the tunnel. The flames and everything, they do look a little bit oversaturated and a little bit too vibrant. But I'm being really picky with it. I really am. You could just turn your settings down on your TV a little bit to account for that. But overall, this transfer gives this 4K a run for its money. It really does. This 4K transfer could have been so much better. It really could have. Kino Lorber are just very inconsistent at the moment. And I'll give you an example. I'm going to be doing a review for Uncle Buck from Kino Lorber. Uncle Buck on 4K, right? Bit of a spoiler, but Uncle Buck looks incredible on 4K. And Kino Lorber did that transfer. And it's an older film than this. I don't understand it. I don't get it. This transfer of daylight on 4K is very average. It's not a poor 4K transfer. And if you don't own daylight and any form of physical media at all, and you want to get this eventually when it's re-released, get it, by all means. Get it. But if you can get hold of this turbine Blu-ray, I think I paid about 20 quid for this. The release itself is nearly a couple of years old, but I got this about 6 to 8 months ago from Amazon Germany. I think it was about 20 quid, including postage. It's a fantastic looking Blu-ray transfer. It looks fantastic. Yes, a little bit too vibrant at times, but adjust the settings. It's got an incredible Dolby Atmos track on here. An incredible Dolby Atmos track. It sounds phenomenal. It really does. Absolutely wipes the floor with the sound on this 4K. I wanted this to be so good. I really did. I love this film. I wanted the 4K to blow that turbine Blu-ray out the water completely, and it just doesn't. This is very average, mediocre and underwhelming. And the fact that you don't get a Dolby Atmos track on this as well, and the fact there's not much difference between the transfers, I'd probably say this is a bit of a downgrade if you've already got that turbine release. I really do. If you've got that turbine Blu-ray release, this is a bit of a downgrade, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that, I'm really not. But the fact that scalpers have got hold of this, don't give in to the scalpers. Even if this was the most amazing 4K transfer ever created, I'd still say the same thing to you. Don't give in to the scalpers. They're taking the piss out of people. Listen it for 100 and 150 quid or however much it is. Stupid money. Honestly, it pisses me off. But I'm really disappointed with that, I've got to say. I expected more from it, I really did. And as I say, if you've got this turbine release and you were looking to upgrade to that 4K, I would highly recommend that you keep this, and maybe someone else down the line will release a better 4K of daylight, maybe with a Dolby Atmos track, maybe with a better transfer, maybe with better utilisation of Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision and HDR. Honestly, I wanted to come on here and tell you how amazing this was compared to this, and I just can't. I just want to be honest with you guys. I really do. Don't give in to the FOMO when it comes to daylight on 4K. It's just all right. And as I say, if you don't own it on Blu-ray or anything like that, when it eventually gets re-released, yeah, get it by all means. It's decent. It really is. But if you've already got the turbine release, or even the standard Blu-ray release, I can't compare the standard Blu-ray, I haven't got it, but from the things I've heard from other people, there still isn't much difference between this 4K and that Blu-ray. Very subtle differences. Very subtle differences. I think the colour grading's a little bit more accurate on this. That's probably about it. As I say, it's not as vibrant as that Blu-ray from Turbine, and it's not as overblown, especially in that explosion scene in the bridge. But I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I wanted to sit here and tell you how amazing it was, but it's really not. I'm just so disappointed. It's very mediocre. So that is all for today, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the video today. I really do appreciate it. If you would give it a thumbs up, that would really mean a lot to me. And if you would consider subscribing to the channel as well, that would be amazing too. And hopefully I will see you again on my next video. Until then, take care.